Today we're learning about power chords, how to play them, and what to name them. Hi everyone and welcome to... Oh, this one doesn't have a name.
Right, it's just guitar learning.
Guitar learning. Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're looking at power chords. We're going to start by looking at open position power chords, then move into the closed position power chords. Let's jump in. Let's get started. Let's start with an E5 or an E power chord. We take our first finger and we bar second fret of the 5th string and the 4th string. With our pick, we strum the bottom 3 strings. Now moving on to an A5 or an A power chord. This is almost exactly the same thing, but we move our first finger down 1 string. So now we're barring 2nd fret of the 4th string and the 3rd string. And we strum these 3 strings. Okay, so that's E5 and A5. Now, D5 is a little bit different. We want to use our first finger to play 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 3rd finger to play 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then we strum those 3 strings there. Just in case you missed that, we strum. Okay, so super fast review. Here is our E5. This is our A5. And here is D5. Now let's move on to closed position chords. But first, let's actually talk about what that even means. So, when you're playing in the open position, what that means is that you're low on the neck and you're playing at least 1 open string. So with E5, we were playing an open E. With A5, we were playing an open A, and for D5, we play an open D. Now, when we move on to the closed position chords, that means we're not going to let any of the strings ring out open. We're going to be holding a fret on every string. To start with, bring your first finger to the 1st fret of the 6th string, your 3rd finger to the 3rd fret of our 5th string, and then our pinky will go right underneath of that to 3rd fret of the 4th string. And then when we strum these 3 together, we're playing an F5 or an F power chord. This position or chord shape is used to play all closed position power chords as long as you're not using the B string. We can take this shape and move it anywhere up and down the neck. So if we go 1 fret up, now we're playing an F sharp power chord. 1 more fret, now we're playing a G power chord or a G5, G sharp, A, and so on and so forth, all the way up the neck. And then that same shape can be used for A string power chords. So let's say we want to play a C5 or a C power chord. We go to our 3rd fret of this 5th string or the A string, and then we form that shape. So 1st finger, 3rd finger, pinky, and then we strum. And there's our C5. Now let's talk about the chord names. So overall, these chords are called power chords. And the truth is, I don't know the etymology behind why we call power chords power chords. But frankly, that's not as important as understanding why we call them 5th chords. So for example, I was playing E5 or A5 and so on. Understanding that is actually fairly basic when you break it down. The letter in the chord name is referring to the root note of the chord. It's typically the first note that you play, and it's kind of the main focus of the chord. So, if we play an E5, E is our root note. Now the number is a little more complicated, but stay with me. The 5 is referring to the 5th note in the major scale. Let me say that again. The 5 in the chord name is referring to the 5th note in the major scale. So, watch this. If we take our C major scale that we learned yesterday, and we play the 5th note in that scale, so we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This note is a G, and notice where my finger is. It's right here on this 5th fret, right? I'm gonna replace my pinky with my 3rd finger. Now look, if I form a C5, I start with my pointer finger here on the C, then I go to that G, that 5th fret, and then my pinky comes underneath. This is just the octave of C. It's actually just another C note there. And when we strum, we play our C5. So that 5th fret of the 4th string there, that note, that was the 5th note in the scale. And that's why we call it a C5. And then we can kind of extrapolate that and use that same method for naming the chord for all of the power chords. I still haven't gotten that clip-on tuner back. So if you guys are playing along with me, and our guitars are not matching up perfectly, don't worry. That's just me using this app on my phone.